Hi there, and welcome back or welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. My name is Amy and I have a somewhat unhealthy obsession with Formula One, so much so that this week I flew to the Australian Grand Prix, which is what we get to talk about today. Not about my experience because that's another video coming up. I did vlog the whole thing. It was a great time. I did some things that I can't quite comprehend yet, but you'll see. Got majorly sunburnt, in case you couldn't tell. And yeah, I'm still in Melbourne, so I'm coming to you live from Melbourne. It's the day after the race, and again, I can't comprehend my weekend. There's one really insane thing that happened that I never thought would actually happen. That's always been a dream, but I didn't think it actually would. So it did, and that was quite cool. But you'll see in 3 days. Just hang in there, I swear. Yeah, but let's get into it. This is your post-OzGP weekend recap. And the drama this week really started in free practice with Alex Albon crashing out of FP1. Now, this would be fine. This would be normal, cool, chill. Not really, but not that big of a deal. But still a big deal. Yeah, not really that big of a deal. But here's the thing. Williams did not bring a spare chassis, at all. So Alex had to take Logan's car for the rest of the weekend. So Logan didn't get to drive, and whilst I fully understand that is probably the best thing for the team, Alex was more likely to score points than Logan, even though Alex only ended up finishing in 11th and didn't actually get any points, but he was close to it. I understand why the team did it. It just sucks for Logan. But also, how are you going to a race without enough spare parts? I get Australia's far, but surely you bring a spare. Just one between the two, Anyway, here's what our team principal, James Val, said of the situation. Logan did nothing wrong, but Alex has the leading edge. And Logan Sargent said, "This is the hardest moment I can remember in my career." And really, Logan took it like a champ, if we're being so real here, but it's also kind of what's he gonna do in that situation? My favorite moment was perhaps Alex being low-key roasted on the the F1 broadcast. Play the clip. There were quite a few shocks coming out of qualifying. Daniel getting his lap deleted. You should have heard the scenes. The scenes when he put the car into 10th. Literally everybody was screaming. And then it got deleted 2 minutes later and everybody was crying. Okay, that's what happened live at Albert Park. This is home race, guys. Just let him have this one, please. Please give him a home race advantage. And I did look at a few of the post-race interviews, and Daniel said it was salt in the wound. Yikes. He's not going as well as I hoped he would this season. You all know he's my main man, okay? I'm a Daniel Ricciardo supporter till I die. I can't, yeah, so he lost his lap in quali, and then the other big shock in qualifying, that's probably the biggest shock, was Lewis Hamilton, out in P11 in the end, his worst qualifying in Australia since 2010, which is insane. And in terms of the race, we all know what happened, okay? And again, you guys all know I'm a Red Bull girl, so this one's gonna just sting a little to talk about, but that's okay. When the lights went out, Max was leading into turn 1, but pretty soon Sainz overtook Max for the lead. Again, the crowd's reaction live, absolutely insane. Everybody was cheering for Carlos, and I was just stood there this is great, it's fine. And everybody did think Max would get him back within a few laps, but at least we had some sort of a fight for the lead. But that was kind of robbed. We were robbed of a good fight when Max had to retire. I saw the smoke coming out of his car, and I literally turned to the girl next to me that I just met that weekend, and I was like, hey, is that smoke coming out of his car? And she's like, yeah, and I'm like, shit. We don't have to talk about it that much. Okay, he retired. Okay, his brakes overheated and it resulted in a fire, and bam, he's out of the race. And 2 of the 3 races I've been to, Max has had to retire the car through no fault of his own. Am I just that much of a bad luck charm for this man? Okay, I should just stop coming to races. No, that's a lie. I'm not gonna stop that. But you guys are welcome for making it more interesting. And it was pretty soon after that that the other world champion in this race, one of two other world champions obviously, Lewis, retired as well. Another engine failure. Yeah, Mercedes had a rough weekend, and Lewis has described the start of the season as the worst of his entire career, which, I mean, to be fair, does say something, because he's had really good cars so far, and that Mercedes just is not where it needs to be for somebody of Lewis's caliber, which makes sense because he's dipping to Ferrari. We soon had some McLaren team orders, okay, which, again, I must admit, the Aussie crowd, we did not appreciate it, okay? Our man was running in a podium position, and you get him to switch with Lando. What's this about? I mean, I get it. Again, at the end of the day, I get it. They want different strategies. Lando probably was on the fast one, whatever. But, like, I just wanted my man to be on the podium, you know? I was rooting for Oscar Piastri to get on that podium, okay? It's like, I don't care which one of the top three needs to crash out, right? Oscar, I want him on that podium. And he wasn't on the podium. But he was a real team player about it, which I respect. But you can tell he did want to be on that podium. And you know what? It's coming. Mark my words, Oscar Piastri will be on that Australian podium one of these days. Next year, hopefully. Sooner rather than later. Thank you, McLaren. But yeah, fourth, again, matching the best finish of an Australian driver at the Australian Grand Prix since it's come to Melbourne. Again, no Australians ever been on the podium in Melbourne, which is kind of a wild statistic for me. Unless you count Bottas, which I'm starting to count. He counts as Australian. Other than that, it was a pretty chill race, to be fair, until the second last lap when we got George Russell's insane crash. Like, he was on his side in the middle of the track, and that radio message, like, the one later of the start was obviously like, everybody, he's okay, he's fine, like, that's the radio message we all heard. But if you listen to the actual one, you can hear how terrified he was, and he was like swearing his head off, and he was like, red flag, I'm like in the middle of the track right now. And obviously the race didn't get red flagged. It was a virtual safety car, which I guess in the last couple of laps, if that happened in the middle of the race, that would have been a red flag instantly. I'm sorry, like, that is a really dangerous position for the car to be in. Like, right in the middle, and obviously the underside of Formula 1 cars are pretty thin, like, it's a bit of protection, not as much as they get in the rest of the car, but it's honestly, like, if a car comes into, like, the bottom of that car, like, going full pace, like, nah, you're done. You're done. Anyway, on a lighter note, every time Sainz wins, this is my favorite fact of the weekend, every time Carlos Sainz wins, George Russell crashes out of the race. In Silverstone, it was the first lap with that crash for show, where, you know, he was like running over to him, and it was kind of like superhero-esque. Or the last lap, like Singapore last year, and obviously Australia now. And Max has also gone pretty badly in both Singapore and Australia due to car issues. And obviously, Carlos Sainz, I've said it before, I'll say it again, he won the race. He slayed. He did such a good job. And the fact that he still technically doesn't have a drive for next year is kind of wild. My favorite quote is, I'm still jobless for next year, so I guess this will help. And it better help. If Carlos Sainz doesn't have a seat for next year, that'll be like the biggest crime, okay? The biggest crime. He's the only one to win that isn't a Red Bull driver in the last 2 seasons. Like, get the man a seat for next year. And I'm sure he'll get one. I don't know where he would go. I'm trying to figure out in my brain. It's working out. Obviously a Ferrari 1-2. I was actually really surprised at the stats. So they left like 4th one in the last 14 years, which is insane. Insane statistic when you think about it, because obviously we see Ferrari as this like incredible force, but they just haven't really done well since the Schumacher era, really. Like, they've been a top team, but like they haven't really been winning since then, you know. But yes, Ferrari 1-2, Lando Norris in 3rd, Oscar Piastri in 4th, and Daniel Ricciardo didn't get any points, and Yuki got points, and the Red Bull drive is looking less and less likely. Anyway, let's have a look at the championship, shall we? It's close. It is really close. There's only like 4 points between Max and Charles now, and Ferrari and Red Bull are also very close as well. So could we actually have a close championship, guys? because that'd be exciting, because obviously I'm a Red Bull girl. I still want Red Bull to win. Overall, I would just like it to be a bit closer. That would be preferred. A lovely, lovely close championship and Amy can be happy. Right? That's what we want. But obviously we go to Suzuka next time out, and that is a track that Red Bull tends to do really, really well at. So we'll see how that goes. I actually haven't looked at my fantasy league, but like it's probably going shit. I haven't checked it in 2 weeks. I was like going to be so committed to this year, and I'm just not. But here it is. Probably not slaying, because I know Max is in at least 2 of my teams. But I think Lando and Carlos are my teams as well, so we'll see. Also, Daniel, I have Danny Rick in them also. This is what happens when you go off your heart, okay? What did you guys think of the race, okay? Who do you think Carlos Sainz is going to next year? Because I'm curious. And my brain needs help figuring it out who it is. So let me know. Once more, if you don't follow the TikTok, go check out the TikTok. I'm posting on there like 3 times a day now. I'm trying to really get behind that because it's fun, okay? It's a good time. And yeah, you'll see plenty more content from me if you go over there. I'm also thinking of starting streaming, but I don't know how to stream, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'm rambling again. If you like the video, then like it and press the red button down below to subscribe for more F1 and motorsport related content. And I will see you all in the next one. Laters!